Yeah. It is clear. All right. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, you may have missed the announcement, but I'm now sponsored by Card Kingdom. I really appreciate that. Card Kingdom is fantastic. They are, I think, the best value, the best game store in Seattle. Like, it's a destination. If you're a gamer and you come to Seattle, you got to go to one of the Mox Boarding House locations and experience it. So it's got that side going for it, and it's also they also just give you the best value on your Magic needs. So check out Card Kingdom, and it's really great to have them behind me. We're going to jump into Guilds of Ravnica ranked here, though. We got a gold draft at the ready. We're going to see if Deckmaster is working for us here. So let's check it out. Do we have voting? No, I'm not voting. I'm not getting voting. You saying it's working for others, though, huh? Well, that bums me out. I really want Deckmaster to work, because if it's working for others, that means it's me. It's something about my setup? Huh. Bummer. What's going on? That's what I did this morning. That's what I did before I started the stream today. I will at least try that. I mean, I think you can't do much more than uninstall, reinstall, but I will reload it here. All right, there's the restart. No, I'm not getting the vote click. Well, it's still great for the gameplay overlay. I'll have to take a deeper look into that this afternoon, I guess. Hey, Bo1. So this is a tough one. You know, I love me the Dimir path. So the City Watch Sphinx jumps out at me, but Dawn of Hope is very good. It's a 1-card combo. It's just not particularly doing what I want to do in that color. Like, if I'm taking white cards, I'm thinking Boros. I mean, remember, one of the issues with this format, despite the gameplay being pretty solid, is that there's only a few paths that you really want to be in, especially in bot draft on Arena. So, but we can also take the Dawn for gold, or for gems. We have 2 Dawn of Hope in the collection. We could craft a couple more. I do want to work towards a playset of GRN on this account eventually, I think. Over the next, year and a half, we'll probably, through all the replays of this format, get there. Yeah, it's a bomb, but it's just a bomb in colors I don't like. But I'll take it for the gems. It's good, and I want it for the gems anyway. But I'm willing to abandon it for something like a Spy Bug. And we'll see where it goes from here. We can go back to Dawn of Hope. We're not going to play Spy Bug and Dawn of Hope, but I think Spy Bug is the best card in the pack. And if we can get into Dimir Corner, I'm fine with that. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see what's open. Happy to swing back towards the Dawn if the cards are there for it. So here I see Darkblade jumping out at me. Let's check print runs. The GRN print run somewhere here. There it is. All right. Prowl Swarm and Flower Flourish have Boros, Challenger, and Lava Coil on either side. So Boros is actually being taken to our right. I was leaning Darkblade Agent anyway, but if there had been like Flowers, you're here more for the Flourish than the Flower, so I don't really think of this as a Boros card. Or you could splash it, I suppose. But yeah, we'll take the Darkblade Agent since we're getting signals upstream that that Boros is being drafted. Oh, here's a Luminous Bonds. So trying to listen to the signals, but then we get new signals. Let's check the print run again, though. We got Golgari Fine Broker here. And around the Fine Broker, on one side we have Affectionate Indrik and Murmuring Mystic. And on the other side, Sinister Sabotage and Flight of Equinaughts. Probably Affectionate Indrik and Murmuring Mystic seem like the most likely to have been taken out of this pack. Luminous Bonds and Direct Current are way better than anything even remotely Dimir here. The Guild Gate is good and everything, but it's too early to say to just ignore the fact that the two best cards in here are Boros. So between the two, though, I'll take the Bonds. It takes care of anything and is not as oppressive on the mana. And here I'm getting pulled back to Dimir. This is okay. We'll figure out what the bots want us to do here and settle in. But I would like it to be Boros or Dimir. Although, you know, people have had success with Selesnya. Another thing that could happen here is that we get kind of stayed open into Selesnya, right? Like we're taking the most powerful cards here, and then if suddenly Selesnya is wide open, we might pursue it. Because this is a good reason to be Selesnya. This is the kind of thing Selesnya wants to do. It's just, I just don't want to be green in the format. Hexstar Dragon says, have you ever drafted the Martial 5-color deck? Not really the Martial 5-color deck, no. I mean, yeah, I have. But while it can win and is amusing, I might do that. If you want to do, like, we've been doing some stipulation drafts on this account, or on this stream, at the end of the day, if we have a little window and just want to fit something fun in. So I'll totally do a 5-color Martial style GRN draft sometime this week, maybe via stipulation, but I don't think I want to do it on the free-to-play account where we're really trying to maximize win percentage. All right. So anyway, back to here. Yeah, I'm going to take the Notion Rain and keep trying to pay attention here. This is a very splitting point in this. Yeah, we have like it's good news though. Like, this pack is every single one of these cards. I'm not too thrilled with this or this, but like these could all go in the two directions we're talking about, which is kind of interesting. So what's the best here? We do have 3 to the Dimir side of town. We have no information here because all the uncommons are gone. Skyline Scout, Barging Sergeant, and Cosmotronic Wave. Like, there's just a lot of depth in Boros here, but not necessarily a lot of quality. I'm kind of leaning cover up. Any thoughts from the peanut gallery here on this one? What do you think, Rat Pack? Yeah, this pack is weird because it's so deep in Boros, but not impressively so, just deep. But the yeah. You're with me on cover up? All right. I wanted to check myself because I know my own biases, and yeah, we can take the gate, but I think if we're taking a card with a blue mana symbol on it, I want the cover up. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't being overly biased towards my preferred color pair. I want to take the highest win percent chance, and if that's Boros, fine. But I think, yeah, Gorgon is safe-ish, but cover up is better. I think ideally you get the 1/1 Death Touchers for 1 instead of the Gorgon, I think. Good time, Zone Fellhammer. How are you? So here's the strands we can take. Blade Instructor. We could have clearly gone... I mean, if we had just... No, we're Boros, and just stuck to Boros from pick 1, we would be fine. If we had said, forget that Dawn of Hope, I'm going to take the City Watch Sphinx, I think we'd be fine pure Dimir. So we've tried to stay open, but now I think we have to just be down the path here. So I think we take strands over the gate to potentially splash stuff, although I do love, like you don't really want more than 1 strands in a Dimir deck because you tend not to have a lot of creatures. If you get a lot of rats, then it gets a little better, but there's an argument for the gate right now just to set up possible green splashes, but we'll take the strands number 1. And I like a crab over a giant. I almost never play a giant. It's beaten me a lot, but I just want cheaper options for what I'm doing. in this format. And also I tend not to have enough creatures to make this exciting in my Dimir decks, but if I ended up Golgari, I'd play that. So it looks like we're being somewhat... This opening pack in which we took the Dawn of Hope was pretty stacked with Dimir, so it's not a huge... It's good to see all this, but it was pretty Dimir heavy, so I'm not surprised. The question now is, do we want the gate or the second cover-up now? We have 2 more packs to get a second cover-up, and I don't want 3, actually. You know, I only want... 2 is the maximum cover-up I want. And the gate is really important, especially if we pick up like a CCDD type uncommon, you know, the Spectre, the Night Veil card. So I'm going to risk it and take the gate. I'll be sad if we don't get a second cover-up, but I think mana fixing is that important. This is a great time for a pass wall. Veiled Shade, the Poor Mage's Dimir win condition, if you need it. Poor Mage's Surveil Source, if you really need it. I guess we'll throw that in the board. Well, yeah, so that was that weird pack that just was full of great stuff for either of our directions. All right, now we're rewarded nicely, and we already have 4 of these, so we can get the gems for Etrata as well. And that reminds me, let's go and craft those, what do we call them? Dawn of Hopes, while I'm remembering. So for those of you who don't know what we're doing here, this collection has 2 Dawn of Hopes. And by crafting 2 more, we'll turn these 2 wild cards into 20 gems in this draft. And snap this up, and what are we hoping to wheel here? I'd like a Stroke coming back, I think would be my ideal out of this pack. Or if we find some splashables, maybe the gate. Troll is splashable, and we only have 1 of those in this account. We could take it and craft a couple more and get some gems out of it, and potentially play it, especially if the gate comes around. The first Golgari Guild Gate came around late, so you can kind of use that as a indicator to expect that it will probably wheel in this pack as well. But Artful Takedown is fantastic. So it would really be about the gem pick, honestly, if we went with the troll direction. So yeah, for match win percentage, it's Takedown. For gem EV, it's probably the troll, but I'll go with the Takedown. Since we don't have 4x of this yet, it's all right. You know, probably lack of discipline there. Should just take the gems if I really want to optimize the gem flow here, but it's pretty minor. On the second free to play account, no, I don't think I would have. I mean, obviously, like, I didn't even take it there when this is the account most likely to take it for gems. So if I didn't take it on this account, I wouldn't take it on any of the other ones as well. Let's see. Yeah, I can rework these locations for sure. What I'm working out. Let's put it here for draft scene. How about that? I think old CK would appreciate that as well. Good call. Oh, the pay to play. Sure. Would I take it for the straight gems there? That's a good point. Or would I take it here if we already had the 2? I should have, yes. But what I'm admitting is that I should have taken it here, right? Like if I'm doing true gem optimization, I probably shouldn't have taken it. I should have taken it here. So definitely should have taken it on a account where there's 4x. As for this pick, Darkblade Agent, I like second copy of the Agent over the second copy of the Notion Rain. We'll take you know, 4 Darkblade agents. We'll only really want 2 Notion Rains. So let's take a Surveil Payoff here. And here's one of my faves, although it probably means that Disinformation Campaign was taken out of this pack because it's right next to Thought Erasure. It doesn't really matter, Draconis. It's all, for me, all the wild cards are ultimately being converted to gems one way or another. Like, it just doesn't really matter. Like, if you're saving wild cards for a new set, it's because you care a lot about what standard deck you're playing when the new set comes out, and I don't. So for me, it's just about taking the opportunities I see to convert wild cards to gems in an efficient and a fairly efficient way. And if I see a good efficient way to do it, I'm going to do it, because that's primarily what I want out of wild cards. And for me, the actual cards in my collection that I get out of redeeming a wild card is secondary to the gem value that I'm getting for my limited. Here we got a Dazzling or a Bats. We have enough Surveil Payoffs that I'm willing to take the Dazzling here over quite serviceable Bats. I've done a lot of my damage in Dimir decks over the course of this format with a 3/1 flyer. See, we have no Swiftblade Vindicators. I don't want to go and craft it. But if we, this is what I mean about it's all, like, we could. Here's the thing. If we thought, I doubt if we dumped, we have one, reset, Ryan. Figure out what you're saying. We have 0 Swiftblade Vindicators. If we take it, we would have 1. In order to craft for gem value, we would have to use 4 wild cards, 4 rare wild cards, to get 20 gems worth of value. And then 3 rare wild cards worth of value would be trapped, waiting for us to draft more Swiftblade Vindicators in the future. And I don't realistically know that we're going to draft 3 more Swiftblade Vindicators ever on this account. After, even if we come back and play it sometimes when they bring it back. So it doesn't seem like a good gem grind where I was willing to use 2 wild cards to convert Dawn of Hope, also because, Dawn of Hope is more likely, I'm more likely to draft it than this. Although this is a pretty good card. It's pretty interesting signal that this is still here. I mean, we sent a lot of good Boros, so I'm a little surprised. In fact, this whole pack is surprising on that front. We could take a Gateway Plaza to set up possible splashes. I'm not a big fan of the Snitch, but I guess I take it here. I like it over the Centipede. I barely even see the Snitch anymore because I hope not to run it. But if there's enough Surveil, you can. I also like Snitch better when I'm sideboarding because there are Boros matchups where you're thrilled to have something like a 1/3, but there are other matchups where it's just kind of a dead card. So we'll take this. So I have another Crab. We can get a Mesmerist. Probably just want a 2-drop. We have a lot of 2s actually, but Spybug, Snitch, Pass Wall, and Erasure would all be cast on 2. We're main decking of Vapors. I'm considering the Vapors. But this is best of 1, so I'm only ever going to want 1, and I'm just trying to decide if this is where we want to take it. We probably are going to have another chance at a Vapors. I'm willing to run 0 to 1 in best of 1. It's especially, if you are heavy Surveil, you can Surveil away the Vapors a lot. And is there looting? There's not really a lot of looting, is there? But there's anyway. You do have some opportunities to cycle away the Vapors if you take it. But I don't think it's a priority here. I think I'm just going to go with... we have 1 Crab, so I'm going to go with the Mesmerist. It's fine. Mesmerist is fine. And I like the Bats for the evasion over the Necrolisk. And this is where I like to take, this is a fine place to take a Bats. Here's a lot of options for us. We can take any of these. Here's a chance at that 1 possible Vapors we might play. Centipede is about as generic as a 3-drop gets for the Dimir deck. in this format. Like, you'll run it. It's a great design. Somebody was there was an article by Ari. Was it Ari Lax? I think it was. Anyway, talking about how valuable 3/2s for 3 are for modern set design for limited, because they're just born to die. You know, they say attack, they say try and trade, they just die a lot. So when you put death triggers on them, I think it's a great design to make 3/2s with death triggers are kind of a new meat and potatoes style common for Magic that I think really make modern limited work as well as it does. Yeah, bats into vapor, but whatever. I've run vapors and bats before. It's all just sequencing, and frequently, like, let's say I lead with the bats and we don't have the vapors yet, and then we draw the vapors right away. Like, worst case scenario, you're still in a situation where your opponent is gonna be trying to kill the bats. They're gonna be doing something to try and kill the bats, or they're gonna lose to it. So it doesn't really matter that this is a non-bow if we want it for our deck. Okay, so we'll take Centipede as a generic, I think. Let's see. Maybe, it's really not the 3 I want to play. And I've got 4 good 3s already. I changed my mind. I'm going to take the Vapors and have that opportunity, have that option. Almost, yeah, I'm just going to take a uncommon for Vault Progress. There's another Mesmerist, that's fine. The Mesmerist has been growing on me in Dimir in this format. It grew on me over time. Like, it's not strong, but it's not bad to play. There are just times where it really does some work, like surprising work on offense, or it does what you need against Boros, which is like, come at me, bro, I'll trade with you. But Boros is wide open too. Yeah, look at this. Not sure if our seat was supposed to be... Maybe we were supposed to be Boros. Looks like this seat is Boros. But I like the deck we've got going, so... I don't consider Creeping Chill ever playable. Sometimes it's cool if you can, you know, getting a free drain is nice. If you could promise me that it never ended up in my hand, and that the only thing, you know, if it had a clause of like, whenever you draw Creeping Chill, you may shuffle it into your library and draw a card, then I'd love it, because then you're just waiting to surveil it, and you're just guaranteed to get that free Creeping Chill. But the times where you draw it, it's effectively a mulligan to me. I say effectively. Obviously, there's gonna be times where a 3-point drain matters, but mostly it's gonna be a mulligan, and you just don't want to risk that at all. Too much risk factor in running a Creeping Chill. So, wow, this account only has 3 risk factors. I would think with how much mono red I play, I would have made a 4th risk factor by now. So I could take the risk factor. We could absolutely use one of our 8 rare wild cards, take the risk factor, and get 20 gems. We would be passing a Watcher in the Mist, which is a Heartbreaker, to do. A Watcher is kind of what this deck is looking for at this point. It does have finishing with like Spybug and stuff, but the Surveil is exactly what we want for things like the Darkblade Agent. Oh, it's never coming back. I'm just but all right, I'm gonna be disciplined this time. I was not disciplined before, and I took Artful Takedown over 20 gems, and I'm not gonna do that here. I'm gonna take 20 gems over the Watcher. Also, because this is a card I would like this account to have anyway. This is a good one to have 4 of. But we're gonna go. We'll take it. Hey, look, Spybug waiting for us on when we come back. Kerbatic says, what's the rationale for saying 20 gems is better than a great card for the deck when match wins give gems? Right. Match wins give gems, but risk factor just gave me 20 gems. And so the question, the fundamental question, Kerbatic, is, does the does that Watcher in the Mist increase our win percentage enough to provide plus 20 gems worth of expected value over the course of our event? Because if it does not provide plus 20 gems of expected value or better over our replacement, here's the thing. There's not a hole in our deck. We do not have a hole. We do not have a Watcher in the Mist shaped hole in our deck. And when we draw it, we go, oh, this is the dead Watcher spot. Ah, mulligan. No, we get something else. We get the 23rd card. It's like, it's the Watcher down to whatever we play instead. So remember that. It's not Watcher to nothing. It's Watcher to its replacement. And here's one way to think about it. Take a player. Well, take me. Okay, so I have a 60% win rate on Arena. That's 10% better than I ought to. So if I'm 60% to win any given match, where is that 60% worth of value coming from? I have every single pick I've made in the draft demands some part of that 10% that I'm gaining. Every decision I make, the deck building decisions have an impact on that 10%. That 10%, and think of the gameplay decisions. Think of how many gameplay decisions are affecting my 10% win rate, and you think of all the things that are going into impacting this advantage I have. What percentage of that win rate, that 10% win rate, do I have? Would be reflected by a single Watcher in the Mist in this whole event versus all of those other factors combined. And when you think of it that way, you realize, oh crap, like that Watcher is moving the needle some fraction of a percent. It's not even a full percent that it's being nudged. And so once you realize that, and then you do the math on what a tiny fraction of a percent actually does to your expected gem value at the end of the event, and you see that it's less than 20, and therefore, even though you would love to have a Watcher in the Mist for this sweet deck, if what you truly care about or what you're trying to optimize for is your gem result, then you want to take rare draft far more than you think you do. It's very difficult. First things, like the cards that can have a huge impact on win percentage, like your Umezawa's Jite, your what was that? Reveal the Ixalan dinosaur black, anyway, name your incredible bomb, and they're almost always rare and mythic anyway, so those don't even count. So you're talking about needing an uncommon or a common that influences your win percentage so much that it trumps 20 gems worth of value, and that's just it's basically impossible. It's basically impossible. So anytime you're not taking the gem value, you're kind of giving up some gem EV, which is fine. Again, I try to beat this into the ground too. I don't care if you don't pursue the gems. It's like it's nickels and dimes. I'm just trying to show how to optimize so that if you want to, you can. And because there are people for who every nickel and dime matters, and I want to show them how they can get the most out of their dollar here. But if you would much rather have a Watcher in the Mist in your deck and you're willing to pay some nickels and dimes for that, then that's fine too. In the end, it's almost always correct to rare draft. Yes, if correct to you is maximizing gems. I want to be clear about that. What's really correct is picking the thing that's going to make you happiest. Okay, back to this interesting pick. I like Spybug number 2 over Takedown. Takedown is really great, and I would love it, but Spybug number 2 makes this a really consistent likelihood, a much more consistent likelihood for turn 2, and we have Darkblade agents and other things. Like, it would really just move me in on, and then we would just really prioritize Surveil from here. So let's take it and do that. That's totally cool, Double D's, as long as we know why we're doing it, right? And so here's a place where I'm not going to. We only have one Gruesome Menagerie. I'm not willing to pump 3 rare wild cards into Gruesome Menagerie to extract some gems. So I'm gonna, and also Deadweight is even better than Takedown for our needs right now. I'm going to take the Deadweight. here's a second Notion Rain. I love this Guild Gate, but I was talking about how we're going to focus in on Surveil from here, and I'd like to take this Notion Rain, and we'll see if we can even wheel this Dazzling. That might happen. Thoughtbound Phantasm goes right into the strategy. Would love to pick up some rats, get our meme on, but we're not passing a Phantasm. Hey, here's a rat we can take, and I actually just kind of straight up like it here. I think it's the correct pick. Here's the Vapors we could have had for free, and here's the continuing LOL should have been Boros. But whatever, it's interesting. We've been the draft has been screaming at us that both Boros and Dimir are open. We kind of went down the Dimir path, but wow. I don't think we're ever playing 2 Vapors in best of 1. I also don't think it's possible for us to get a red splash that we want to do by the end of the draft. So I'm just going to take Uncommon Vault Progress. Hey, look, just in time. Last chance for a second cover-up, and we found it, so I'll take that. Painter's never making our deck, so we'll take Vault Progress. And it's always funny to draft that card. Nothing for us here. I guess we'll take a Locket, but we're not playing it. I don't really run Lockets unless I have to. Oh, sweet. Nice Wheeled Stroke. This deck looks great. Could use a Watcher in the Mist, but other than that, looks great. All right, let me make a note of the gem grind. Ranked draft, GRN. Here, I'll get us to at least the deck building scene to take a look. Black. All right, we got 3 cuts to make here. Let's check our numbers. 14, 12. We can cut anything we want, really. It's a little heavier on creatures than I usually am here. This is where, like, I probably... Let me look at our... What's our actual... Looking for our actual surveil triggers here. And we don't have that many. Unfortunately, we kind of came up short there in a way that could hurt. I don't know if I didn't prioritize it highly enough, or we just didn't get it wheeled enough. We'll still run these. 5 isn't the worst. I'm definitely going to run the main deck Vapors then, which maybe means we could cut the bats. But again, I don't think it's that big of a non-bow. You just time it, and then it's fine. It's really more of a non-bow with the Mesmerists. Maybe cut a Mesmerist. Yeah, the Snitch could go out as well, since it's not really doing much with the Surveil triggers. I think I like that. It Never Happened is a mixed bag. I tend to... Again, this is a kind of best of 3 card more than any. You know, I would like to be able to decide between Vapors and Never Happen and that kind of thing for this 3-drop based on what we're up against. But pulling, if you expect to face a lot of Dimir, which I do, Never Happened is pretty good. 10 wants the Snitch. Yeah, you like Snitch. I don't... Doesn't do enough. I guess it just helps you. It keeps you from getting run over. It's like, this is better against Boros, this is better against Dimir. And they're kind of middle... They're equal, kind of almost against... equally medium against Izzet. And then I don't really concern myself too much with the green decks other than... trying to deal with it when we see them. All right, let's cut. And we need 2 cuts anyway, so how about the Never Happened and the Snitch? What about that? Oh, where did our... Oh, that's the Vapors over here. Let's get my curve back so I can see where we're actually at. And we'll call this Silent and Deadly. Strands is just okay, but I like it. You end up with a lot of... there's enchantment-based removal. People play the blue 4-mana aura that taps stuff down. There's luminous bonds. So you can get a lot of free sacks. And when you need it, when it's just like... And we have 1 rat. It's better if you have more rats, but it's nice to pitch a rat to kill something, or it's another way to mitigate some... Vapors, non-bows, if you pitch a mesmerist before it's going to die, that kind of thing. Thank you. We'll change the scene and record to battlefield and record 00. GRN Bo1. We'll knock off the 2 here. Thanks for the reminder. Oh, that's true. It would be better peacetime with a deadly visit. We can you have to come up with a better name though. But I'm gonna get to playing. You can think of what this should be called. It's a good point. Deadweight kind of saves it, but like there is a card with the word deadly in it. How about silent but not deadly? Fine little start here. Let's see if this bug will live. Live, little bug. All right, we'll go for the Notion Rain here, looking for a little... I wouldn't turn down some more blue mana, although we have about as much as we want there, but this will activate the bug, and we'll take another activation of the bug, and I will keep the blue, I guess. Maybe I don't care. Like, we do have Devious Cover-Ups to cast eventually. But I'm going to be greedy. Let's be greedy. We have another Surveil, so... Hey, look, we found it anyway. All hail greed. I like that peacetime. We might do that. Certainly we can... I like at least playing off the 2 spy bugs for a name. Glad I binned that island. We're flooding on them now. Just trying to make sure we don't want to... we're just going to play the crab. So I'm going to attack here and play the crab. Go shields down to get the big butt in the way of that Cyclops. Then next turn we'll have Adept, Stroke, and Dazzling Lights all available to us, plus whatever we draw. More swamps.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
Easy discard there. Ha! We got one right back, Oppo. Oh well. I guess we want to attack with a pass wall. I forgot to activate it, but we'll attack with it here and activate it after the fact. Right on, Blow. Always fun to surprise people with that one. For longtime viewers, it's the classic. If you'd like to see it again, all you have to do is sub. Yes, you can always hold out hope for the next rat. This is why I don't like Wall of Mist. It's too bad against too many things. It's funny, though. I like the crab, but 2 power matters, you know? 0 power means people get to keep swinging with teams into you. 2 power means they frequently can't.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
Thank you, Adamend, for proving my point. Now we get a Trata and Stroke and Lights up. That's great. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we get it all. We get it all. Except for the activation of the Adept this time. Is it Adept? Adept? I think I've pronounced this. I've pronounced ADEPT like 7 different ways in my life and probably never correctly. Oh, no. Auto tap. Yeah, I didn't really talk about playing around the counter, but I was just like, I'm not going to not play my spells here, I guess is the bottom line. So I didn't talk about it, but it wasn't, the possibility of a counter wasn't going to deter me there. We have the lead anyway. I'm happy to draw stuff out of their hand. And we got one for them as well, especially if they try to do anything to our precious bug. DBA resolves. Yes, that's great. I'm just surveying the scene before I cast it. I guess we hold off on land. No need to do that yet. We'll start here. Ooh, looks good. And I'll even take I'll take both of these, yeah. Let's take a peek here. Maybe another stroke. Ah, all right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they got a lot of counter, but we've got a spy bug that they're not dealing with, so all good on this front. We didn't get to see their hand. We do have Dazzling, so I'm going to go ahead and let them potentially send in the Darkblade Agent, because we can double block it and shrink it, so that even if they have a Surveil trigger, they will have a rude surprise. I'm going to take Lava Coil every time over Direct Current. I do like the double activation on Current, but the easier mana cost and the broader range of things that it kills make it a much better choice. Pack one, pick one. Yeah, the exile is relevant. So I guess we just win here, right? We got nothing, so I might as well just fire this off. Tapped out, no flyer blocking, right? Okay, just making sure. My victory penny! Thank you, Cheerer. Stratic, I disagree. It's not terrible. It just needs to have the right deck and the right pilot. I would not have maybe cast that Troll at that spot. But Troll has done work for me in this format when applied in the right decks. What makes a great limited format? That's a... Here, let me cancel this before I jump back in if I'm going to answer that question. Here, I can even... Where's my... What makes a great limited format, asks Umami Beat. A lot of factors go into making a great limited format, but if we look at what we have loved about the formats, or what I've loved about my favorite formats, I think here are some key factors. Mana fixing and mana smoothing. You want mechanics and tools in the set to ensure that people can find the lands they need and the colors they need to cast their spells. So good fixing for everybody, and better fixing for green, I think, makes a nice format. Late game mana sinks. I want formats that have the ability to go late. It doesn't have to be all late game matchups, but there should be the possibility for your deck to go late, and if it goes late, there should be things for you to do with your mana. It's very frustrating in Magic when you untap, draw a land, add it as your 9th land, pass the turn, and do nothing. So it's great when there are any kind of repeating effects that you can do, even for a lot of mana, just so that when you get into those spots, you don't feel like it's dead. I also like good card drawing in that as well, so that you feel like I want players to feel like they're doing stuff in the late game in a great format. And it should be balanced. You want to have a lot of viable archetypes, kind of like at least 5 to 6 viable archetypes that you're like, yeah, those are all good things to do. To have depth and longevity, it should have high synergy build-arounds at uncommon. Sets that have shown that they have little side strategies to pursue. It's kind of like the side quest, in an RPG. You can look at these uncommons and go, ooh, instead of going down that main road, I could go down that side path. And build-arounds at uncommon are important because at common they're too oppressive and they can wreck a format if you put good build arounds. And at Rare and Mythic, they don't show up enough to drive the format, so Uncommon is a perfect place for those. And let's see, what else? Just the gameplay itself. It should be... This is a tough one, because to even get right, even with all your testing and everything, but basically, the amount of decisions and the texture of the decisions in the format matter a lot in the gameplay. You want complexity, but not unfun complexity, if that makes sense. So here's an example of unfun complexity. Was probably a good example of that would have been Ether Revolt and the kind of that whole Kaladesh, that 2-set block. It's like there's a lot of fiddly little choices of this or that, and counter or not, token this, and you just get fiddly choiced into oblivion. Rob Schuster once said he would rather do his taxes than play Kaladesh Limited. Whereas take something like Khans of Tarkir, also a very complicated format, multicolor, three-color format. It's got Morph in it. Morph is an incredibly complicated mechanic, but it pays off. It once people understand Morph, there's this really interesting game of unknown, like, oh, what do they have? What could it be? And there's things you learn about that. I think the tension and complexity and choices of like a Khans of Tarkir were much more successful than the complexity and choices in Kaladesh. So that's the toughest part. Making sure that the puzzles that the game is presenting are both challenging and fun. And you need both of those. And like Kaladesh is a place where it was challenging and maybe not fun. And there are other places where it's fun, but it's not challenging. And so then the fun falls off, All right. There's a little side soapbox on what I think makes a good limited Magic format. Ooh, that looks good. We go Spybug into Darkblade Engine, into Notion Rain, into Victory Lap, right? That's just how that goes? Thanks, Viddles. We'll talk to you later. Yeah, they could have toned down the Gates deck just a little bit. It still would have been a viable archetype, and it wouldn't have been so oppressive. And Arena is part of the problem on that front. I don't think the Gate deck is that oppressive in paper from what I've heard. Honestly, I have, because this is how I'm mainly playing Magic right now, most of my Limited is on Arena, and I have to be aware of that and aware of how that affects my own biases and my own perception of a format. I think I've drafted RNA in paper twice at Adam's house. Like, that's it. Yeah, Stratic, that's one of my... I was listening to the LR set review, and they were doing their usual categories, and I like to ask myself what mine would be for various ones, and one of theirs, of course, is Soapboxiest card, and I think probably Gate Colossus is my Soapboxiest card. Wouldn't you guys agree that over the course of this format, I have done more ranting and raving about that card than about any other one? Definitely need that land. Do we need Pass Wall? I'm going to ditch the Pass Wall for right now. I don't think it's what's going to matter in this game. Bo put in the tough spot of giving me a card or giving me their informant. That may be one reason they decided to keep it. They have that. We'll go ahead. We drew a Surveil Source, so that's nice. We'll play this first. See what they got going on. Ooh. We can't cast the unicorns yet. We can deadweight the patrol if we need to keep it from... Or we can deadweight the instructor. Kind of want to take out the watcher. Except they don't even have that mana for that yet. I think we're in pretty good shape here. I'm going to take the watcher. They're one land away from being able to cast it. I'll take the cover up as well. I think that sets us up nicely. And we can attack. Yeah, if they want to trade the agent off for both of those, that's fine by me. There's the cover up. We can drop the island, and I kind of like rat deadweight here. Deadweight the patrol.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
We could have used deadweight for the instructor or one of these unicorns, but this uses all our mana now. We'll cover up one of those. I just think we get there with the spy bug from here. Yeah, Oppo agrees. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I was just kind of playing my cards and responding to what I was seeing, but funny. Take this record. All right. We rolling. Well, if we get some of our surveil payoffs, this could be good. But again, we don't have many. I think we have 5 total, so it's not like these are as oppressive as they can be in the ultimate Dimir decks that we have seen in our time in this format. Alright, Vapors is nice. It's a bit of an onbo with Spybug. We need to find something else to... Oh, right? Yeah, because it gives everything -1 and then surveils, so it kills the Spybug. But we're still going to lead with the Spybug and try and find something else to get the Spybug to 2. All right, perfect. Yeah, this is great. Exactly what the doctor ordered. We get to use the dazzling lights to make our Spybug bigger. If they decide to double block here, we blow them out. And to draw the card, I'm going to go ahead and use the dazzling lights, and it also sets up the Vapors. Don't need the swamp. Crab seems fine against Boros, so we'll keep that. Or I guess it's Selesnya, but still fine. It's even better against Selesnya. We could just straight Vapors here, but I'm going to be a little greedier and see if we can't get some more 1 toughness. There might be a mentor, the 3/1 mentor dude, the create 2/1/1 tokens. It also threatens stroke, although they're not going to be at 4 mana, so it doesn't matter, does it? Here, I think I'm going to go ahead and use it. Then the Darkblade Agent becomes a 1/2 that Well, then it just trades off with one of the two. But I would trade it for the Dissident at this point, I think. Yeah, they double block and it dies. Sure. Yeah, maybe I don't. Maybe we'll wait. I'm just going to do the crab here, and we'll send in the spy bug this time. Yeah, they're also... I haven't commented on it, but Oppo is mana screwed, so we should really just play out our threats and try and take advantage of their troubled mana situation. Alright, now we're gonna probably Notion Rain and then Strands the Colossus and just get in there, I think. Ooh. Now maybe we just dead weight the Colossus. And then I like having the cover up to protect our situation. So we'll keep those both. Phantasm almost turned on. Yeah, let's see. We can Strands the Colossus with, like, the crab even, I guess. Or, no. I'm just going to go ahead and deadweight the Colossus and send in. Oppo's up against it. They're on 2 land, and we've got him backed into a corner. See if we can keep him there. That ought to do it. Oh, so many ways to win. But let me make sure we are doing this right. I guess I'm gonna do Vapors. And can we just get them with the Strands? Not quite. They get to live, so we'll just attack. If we had killed something with Strands, they can block the other one and not die, so... All right. And, you know, in the wake of just this random game or whatever, I want to call back to the pick of 20 gems over the Watcher in the Mist. It's like, somehow when you're in the flow, like, you can just see how it's like, yeah, I would love for there to be a Watcher in the Mist in this deck. No question. It would be a better deck with a Watcher in the Mist. But it's so... The impact it ultimately has, it could have been in the deck and at the bottom here, right? It's just you don't see all your cards. And that's why it's really hard to produce a calculus that shows that any given common pick you could make is worth more to your gem value than 20. Yeah, of course it is, Mobius. That's my point. There's plenty of good things in the deck. I'm just saying that while the deck would be better with that one card we chose to pass in order to rare draft, I'm just saying... You can see how one individual card has ultimately a fairly minor individual impact on your EV. That's all. Yeah, Hex brings up a point I didn't mention in my soapboxing on rare drafting before, and mentions that in these draft formats, modern draft formats, we aren't hurting for our 22nd or 23rd playable. So that gap between the Watcher in the Mist and the replacement level card you're going to bring in is closer than it would have been in the history of Magic Limited. So, you know, turn 2 Spybug and turn 3 Notion Rain has been the secret sauce of this event so far, so I'm happy to keep that going. Hey, Oni. Oni is back from outer space. I could have put the pass wall, and yeah, maybe I should have, like that. That's a big, big slam right here, but I don't know if we can take the turn off to like Notion Rain here, but also, yeah, I guess we play the pass wall here. It's more important to present something that can stop the recruit. And realistically, I should have played this first. I think if I'd played this first, we would be at 18 right now, and in a much better spot. As it is, this spy bug isn't blocking, so we will be attacking. We do have 2 of them, so we're more likely than usual to make use of turn 2 spy bugs, but yes, we've been very lucky on that front. I don't think it's going to be enough here, though. We're going to have to play the Atrata for the defensive block. I think I'm just going to leave everything back. I may consider... Let's do no attacks and see what Oppo wants to do here. Yeah, deadweight would be fantastic. But I may put Spybug and Pass Wall in front of the dropper. We'll see. And then we can attack with Atrata and get rid of the Legionnaire. It's a hefty cost, and we will be making this block into open mana. Ian Falcon here. Hey, Jam Griff, thank you for that sub. If we make this double block, we could just get blown out and lose the game right here, but I'm questioning how we win this game if we don't take this chance. So if we put the Silencer in front of the dropper, then we have this 3/3 Legionnaire that's oppressively attacking us, and we have nothing to stop it. And that's kind of going to be the... and so that's why I think we have to try. So I think we're actually pretty likely to get blown out here, but I don't think we can beat this situation without trying. So this is one of those spots where it looks like, Ryan, you're running into the trap. And it's like, well, the trap is that we can't win this game if this doesn't work. So we're going to give it a try. That's true. Maybe the lack of the fresh-faced recruit attack means they don't have the trick, but we're going to try. All right, great. Hooray, we 2-for-1'd ourselves. Oh, come on. Well, that's Boros doing what it does. Now we have to Notion Rain and hope that we find something. Notion Rain with both colors open, please. Oh, I was really hoping to see a deadweight. We might have to flip to look for it. Yeah. I think we have to attack. I think we keep the Vapors, but now we have to hope that we get Vapors and then a deadweight. So we need a deadweight on top as well, but I think we have... do we have... Yeah, I think we need both Vapors and deadweight to have a chance to win this game, so we'll go for it. Not quite, not quite. Well, let's see what's going on over here. Get rid of that. And here, we'll put that in the graveyard. And yeah, we do have to attack and get rid of the Legionnaire. And if we can draw a threat to get in front of the agent and they're out of gas, we stabilize? Raise my voice up at the end? Did we stabilize? Are we gonna win this? Alright, that's painful. Come on, top. Something. Give me a chance, deck. I think we're just kind of daubs now. Yeah, that's a next turn problem big time. I don't think, we need 2 things. I don't know if we have an out now. Yeah, I don't think we have an out. We tried, gang, but the good Boros deck got us. Here, I'm at least gonna throw the full control Dazzling Lights bluff. Oh, they weren't swayed. Almost stabilized. That was a good sign for our deck, really. Although we had another great, what we consider a great start, but we just got mowed over by the strong Boros start. But we actually had a chance there. All right. Come on now. I do love that this is house money. I was making the point, somebody was saying, they were making some decision in a draft that on whether or not to pursue the gem EV based on whether or not they had entered for free off of gold or for gems off of gem entry. And, that part I don't think that matters. You need to, but it does feel great to generate gems for no gem cost. So it does, we do feel like we're free rolling here. Opponent is going first. We have a turn 2 rat, and if we find some blue, this hand will be fine-ish. Although, these aren't amazing, but it kind of depends on what they're up to. If they're up to Dimir, I don't love either of these, but Notion Rain is good enough, and we'll keep this. Peacetime just is Spybug or nothing. Here comes the island. Well, there's your Spybug. We'll cast it, don't worry, eventually.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
Blue, 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 blue. Took a chance, not working out right now, but an island in the next 2 or 3 turns should still get us there, I think. Depends on what they do here. If this is a really big play from Oppo and we don't find the blue, this could be trouble. Alright, well, not the best Strands target, but we're going to do it. I manually trigger the memes. I'm just so smooth at it now, you can't tell anymore. Oh boy. I'm going to do a no-value Vapors to try and find blue. Well, ditched 2 non-islands, so probably worth it. That, we're going to lose if we just go 2 more turns without finding it. Not great, Bob. Not great. All right. Thus, the Magic Mulligan decision. I still like the keep. That's just one of the possible results. All right. Good news, we have 2 turns to draw one of our Spybugs. Also shows why I love them gates. Man. The difference between casting your spells and not is dramatic. Oh man, a Spybug off the top right now would be the nuts. With Thought Erasure and Notion Rain in hand. Come on! Oh. I'm gonna go with Pass Wall here. Although Thought Erasure does set us up to surveil. I changed my mind. I'm gonna we need to draw land, so I'm gonna not be greedy and pick apart their hand and try and put a land on top for ourselves. Let's see. Can discard the Insight so that they only get insane value out of it instead of crazy insane value out of it. Yeah, I like that. And you go away. Yeah, sorry, I opened a beverage and made people thirsty, probably. That is how the human brain works. All right. Let's see. Are they gonna do anything to? Well, we gotta watch out for this and this or whatever. But surely we are agenting here. And Notion Raining next turn. See what Appa wants to do. A bug of their own. Well, we've got vapors for that, so it looks like we'll be vaporing next turn instead. And then if they want to pull the bug back, they can, right? The other thing we could do is silence while to maximize our mana. Now, I like the Vapors play. Also, it gets the bug while it's small. Although they could, wait. They could just bounce our agent in response. That's not great, is it? Yeah. You guys caught it before I did, but fortunately I caught it before I made the mistake. So let's see. Probably just the silencer then. And they're not going to block here. We're gonna run in. We have a free attack. Or if they do block, I tip my cap. It's quite a bluff call. Alright, you want to do that. Alright. So then, how do we want to play that? Probably still a Trata. Although, man, I do want to go Darkblade into Notion Rain. That's alright, we'll go with the Trata here. Well, we see Agent and Insight. Let's at least start with the attack, see if they do anything about it. Happy to get the bug out of here. If they find Dazzling, they can shrink power to 0, so that's probably why they tapped carefully like that. And I could Notion Rain and try to find our land drop, but I'm gonna be greedy enough to drop the Agent and try and get an activation off the Agent next turn with the Rain. Now Oppo has the Whisper Agent to trade with it, but the Notion Rain kind of forces that, at least. Ooh, vapors. Vapors, vapors. Yeah, let's vapor now. And we'll keep one of those swamps, but not both. It's a great vapors because we can still attack with the agent, and they are damned if they do, damned if they don't, and the agent will not die. Should have thought about the whole turn here and at least had the adept down. So that's my bad. We should have the pass wall out right now. Yeah, I let auto tap screw me. Yeah, I think milling via Ashiok is a legit plan, especially if there's ways to recur planeswalkers from the graveyard and other. If there's any other milling support, you know, that would do it too. Like if that's the only milling card in the format, maybe it's a little light, but I expect there's probably others. Now we're gonna go Phantasm Bats here. And then we'll see about the Notion Rain next turn. Oppo in the tank. Usually that's a good sign. Sometimes it's a sign of incoming BM, but mostly it's a sign of tough spot. No need to do anything to trade with the agent here when we have Crab and Pass. Well, Pass Wall doesn't bounce, but Crab is really going to come down and try to hold the ground, so... They're continuing to be happy to use the Guild Mage to prevent that Darkblade agent from doing work. Understandable. It's very good. And to that end, though, we have things to do here, so I'm just going to go Bats. And we'll drop the Crab and the Pass Wall. Well, maybe. Are they going to stroke this or cover it up? Let's see. Do they have... They're showing a pause, and they don't have any available activated abilities. I wonder what their final card is here. Well, there you go. We get to find out. Now the Guild Mage could Surveil and turn on the Phantasm. That's alright. If we take a hit from the Phantasm, no big deal right now. We get to Strands it eventually. Maybe even using the Pass Wall. Let's see if Oppo wants to pin this Bats down now that it is threatening in the air. And maybe we do want to trade with this. No, I'm just still saying no blocks. Eventually, the Strands is going to gain us some life as well. That's what I expected. Now they pin down the Bats, so now the Notion Rain is a much better threat creation for the Darkblade agent. And now, as I was saying, this is one of the things that is good about the Strands. It lets you turn their aura-based removal into free premium removal spell, basically. And in this case, do we want the Guild Mage or the Phantasm dead? Because Phantasm's stuck here. The Crab can... Actually, let's start with a Notion Rain, and that might help us answer the question. I guess we don't need... Do it like this, though. Spybug. Yeah, we'll keep both of those. Because this really allows us now to get both of them. We'll take the Guild Mage out now, and then use a Trotta to get the Phantasm. If Oppo finds something to attack with the Phantasm this turn, we might chump it, but I think we'll take everything else. Yeah. Although this is not really going to pump much anymore. Maybe I'm being silly not to think about just trading here. I mean, what are we going to do? We got another Notion Rain. We've got a Dazzling Lights. That's the only thing that can affect this. We've got 20 cards, so we're like 10% to even see anything for this on a given draw. So actually, I am going to trade it off. I probably should have done it early. I should have done it earlier. We should have 3 more life now. Because I had one other chance to do that and I declined. But I think it's definitely correct. There's just not enough to get the Thoughtbound to relevancy. And here we get Bats and Spybug. I'm going to play the Silencer so that if they find Surveil and attack, they get 1 attack and then we get to take it out. So we get Silencer and Mesmerist here. And also let's try... Yeah, this other thing, we can get things back as well. But we can get back the Phantasm if we think that's going to be a good strategy again. And let's actually pretend that we have a... Oh, no, they know. Never mind. So much for pretending. They know what we have. Speaking of cover-up, and we'll leave cover-up up. And looks like we can actually... Oh, wait. I want to make sure they... Oh! Oppo's going to save some time. They decided us winning was... Once I showed them the activation, they were like, okay, you got it. Showed them the lethal. Thank you, Cheer. Well, let's get right back in there. Love a couple more wins out of this. That's a good place to start. Actually, I'm going to do Swamp so the Dazzling Lights doesn't tip if they play a creature like that. Alright, deck, give us a little bit of land here. Help us manage the Boros. Not going to trade. But may stay back with Dazzling on the next turn. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Ooh, and it looks like we're screwed to them. Oh, we are, but the lack of a third land may sell them on attacking into us more than they would have otherwise. I think we have to cast this Dazzling just to find our land, so if we can get a creature out of it on the way, that'd be great. They may have something of their own, but yeah, that's fair. Not letting me get the surveil trigger is smart on their part. Still had to try it, though. Fortunately, that's not a ton of pressure. Why not dazzle the urchin? Yeah, I guess I could have dazzled the urchin and it would have been a 2/2. I should have done that. That was just a mistake. I wasn't thinking of the spy bug as a 2 toughness creature. I was thinking of it as a 1 toughness creature. That's why I played it that way. But it was incorrect. We're still going to attack here, though. And hope they don't have a big spell here that pumps these dudes up. I mean, you can do worse than seeing 3 mountains and a couple of urchins from a probable Boros deck. Alright, alright. Hurts to do this against Boros, but must be done. And we like both of those. We just want to get land here. You think it's Izzet? Could be. Could be, yeah. Urchin may be a sign of Izzet. That's a good call. But I was thinking Boros because I think of Torch Courier. Well, I think of it as unplayable, but if you are going to play it, I see it as probably more Boros than anything, but... I think I'm actually going to keep the... Well, let's see. What's the worst they could do? They draw their other color, play a 4-drop that's significant to us, and stops the Wish Coin Crab from doing the defensive work I want it to do. Crab doesn't actually kill anything. I'm going to leave the takedown up and actually just kill one of those urchins. Yeah, Plains and Aurelia would be good, but it looks like they don't have it yet. We're going to do this. If we come up with a 3-drop on our draw, we'll do that plus stroke, because of things like that. Almost want to just Strands the Patrol, because it's a little scary with the Urchin situation. Is that crazy? Maybe that's crazy. Well, we'll drop the crab now. And I'm not going to block with the bug, so I'm going to attack with it. They're looking at the crab. That's not great for us. If they take out the crab... Well, if they aura the crab, we get to Severed Strands it, which would be good. Vapors one time. Vapors would be amazing. No. No Vapors. We could Mesmerist Strands. But also Mesmerist threatens to block the Instructor. So does the crab, though. Let's go... Oi. We have Cover Up plus Strands. We have Mesmerist plus Cover Up. We have... Mesmerist plus Strands plus Stroke. Mesmerist plus Strands plus Stroke is probably correct here. So let's start with Mesmerist. But now, God, do I really want to do this Strands? And if so, where? It's a complicated turn for the attack to figure out here. If we let everything stand, then next turn, if they attack with everything, they get Instructor on Patrol, Patrol on Hawk. Hawk is a 2/2, and we have to like block Spybug on Hawk. Maybe we just take out the patrol here with the mesmerist. I think I like kill patrol with mesmerist to undo some of the really devastating sequencing that could happen next turn, and now we have to also be ready to trade our spy bug for that hawk. At least now we have crab on instructor and spy bug on hawk with stroke protecting against some stuff. Yeah, Sure Strike's not really a card we can beat because we have to block this turn if they come at us. Oh, if they come at us in a geez, they must have it kind of way. Huh, interesting. Are they going to do that again? If they do that, we'll just chump somewhere. Now we have, yeah, we have to chump here. Well, let's see, maybe we don't. We could put both in front of the instructor. Let's wait to see what happens here. Alright, so they go with that. If we put both on the instructor, it's a 1-for-1. If we put both on the urchin, it's a 1-for-1. The instructor is only buffed this turn, so it falls back to a 3-1 next turn. I think we should actually look to combo out the urchin here, because the crab lives to take out the instructor next turn. So we'll do it this way. We kind of still need to draw something off the top, but this gives us some chances here. Ooh, extra painful. And just dead. Darn it! Really wanted a couple more wins off this. Thought this was a very good deck. Very good deck, but you do get one more meme out of it, so it's not a lost cause.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
Put a full control on just in case somehow. Yeah, we'll go like this and like this. So now you want to attack, right? You shouldn't attack. I have it mapped to keys on my keyboard. Oh, so sad. Well, we only ever lost to Boros and our own mana issues, so there's that. We're running all the vapors we have, and I would not run more than one, though. Sorry. I mean, yes, we faced Boros, we had 4 wins and 3 losses, so we played 7 times. I mean, it's not like it was 6 Boros or something. All right. Well, we won more than we lost at least, and 450 gems, and maybe some grind here. What do we get? Let's see. Operative. 450 plus an extra 20. Let me make a note of that. So a total of 80 on the grind and 450 on the prize. So, would have liked more wins, but plus 530 on the gems doesn't suck. No question Ben S is better than me, but I have my opinions, and I don't know. It depends on what else is going on in the deck. I suppose I would have played a second one here just because we wanted the surveil triggers so much, but I think it's... I'll say this, I think it's deck dependent. I don't think you just slam 2 Vapors into any Dimir deck just because. So what are we doing now? It's 10:45, my time anyway. We can jump right back into a draft. I can take some questions. We can look at new previews. I'm not sure I want to do, like, it's kind of hard for me to look at new if there's, if we want to do some single cards, like if there's any new cards that people want to post that you really want my take on, I'll give you some card takes before we figure out what's next. But while you're thinking of cards you may want my take on, I'll go to the preview page at least so I can find it. I think I've got the latest here, so if there's something I can at least look it up. But let's see what we want to do next. We can finish up. We have a... Maybe we should go finish that stip draft just because it's there, and we'll see where that takes us, if that takes the rest of the stream or not. But let's see. Casualties of War? Sure, let's take a look at Casualties of War. Except I don't see it in this spoiler. Oh, wait, maybe there it is? I don't know. Anybody got a link for me? Thank you. All right. Let's open image tab. Do this. Go like this. Okay, Casualties of War is a sorcery, 2 black, black, green, green, so a 6-mana rare sorcery, and you can choose one or more of these, wow, 5 things. You destroy some stuff. You can destroy target artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker, and that's not an or, and or. So one or more. You get to do all of those things if you want to. That seems really cool. Nice design. Very powerful. Straight up 5 for 1 if you have the the situation for it. But more than, like, let's think about it for limited purposes. Is this a first pick? The colors are very oppressive. But I'm a gem grinder, so it's probably going to be a first pick mostly. But the fact that you're going to be able to get 3 of the 5 pretty reliably in the format, making a 3 for 1. The land, whether the land matters or not, I bet the land thing is going to be really annoying because it's like, it's not really why you play the card, but when you're like, oh, you only have 1 planes, boom. Like, so that the land part will even get you too. So I like it, but it's not, the cost is oppressive enough that I'm, in the Pro Tour, I'm not going to start with this. If something huge is on the line, I'm probably going to take a more solid baseline single colored spell over than that, but pretty interesting card anyway. All right. That's interesting. Ben's approach. Approaches drafts. Yeah, I don't know how that helps him. but if that's helping him avoid bad habits, okay. All right. Fiddles has another one. What's this? Ooh, those are pretty. Oh, card previous row at the bottom. Let's see. What's it called? Oh. hate these. Okay, Blast Zone, finally. Jeez. Blast Zone is a land that's rare. It says Blast Zone enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it. It taps to add colorless and doesn't enter tap, so that's good to see. But XX tap, put X charge counters on Blast Zone. And then 3 tap, sacrifice Blast Zone, destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Blast Zone. Wow, that's a heavy hitter, right? It's a control-y card. It's not like it's doing anything right out of the gate, but I'm thinking this makes me think of Constructed, though. Although you probably, like, are we running this in limited? Depends on my color requirements. Let's walk it through and tell how much this is going to cost. Like, what's a final thing that's going to be good? Like, we destroy non-land permanent. Let's say we want to do this for 4. We want to do this for 4. We need to spend 8 mana to get the charge counters on it, and then 3 more and sack this to do the deed. Definitely feels like I would run this in a control deck because it is basically a free long game mega sweeper. So but you can do it on the installment plan so that turn 5, I only have a 3-drop. Well, you can play the 3. No, sorry, it takes extra, doesn't it? Yeah. Sorry, it takes extra. It depends on how many times it takes you to charge it. If you do all of your charging in one blow, it effectively is 9 mana to charge it because you have to tap the Blast Zone to add the mana. So it's kind of like, I would think of it as 3 mana to charge because you're probably going to be doing it installment plan like. Yeah, Proliferate works. So there's basically, it seems fair but good if you just play it as a control deck card. I should really go left monitor. I'm sitting here looking at this card and not showing it to you all here. How about that? A little better. Yeah, that if you don't build around it and you have a control deck, I think you're fine to just drop it in there and it gets it in. It's so little opportunity cost. It's just the color. You're just missing out on colored mana. That's the thing to remember about something like this, is that both the only opportunity cost is the lack of colored symbols on your land, but let's not forget that that's a real cost. We just had a game where I was desperate for an island, and if we just found an island in time, we could have made a game of it, and we didn't. And so if you run this instead of an island and you draw the Blast Zone, right? So you're going to have that problem, but it's very low opportunity cost. There's no other cost than that. So I think I would run this in most control decks, but if I were like an aggro deck, I would not run this because you're not going to fire it off, and it's going to get in the way of you curving out like you want to. All right. So let's see. I'm going to switch to the login view. I'm going to switch to the account, the throwaway account where we have a stipulation draft going. We forced a non-guild, off-guild deck in this other account. KCat says, you've mentioned that rare drafting is good in part because your 24th best card is still fine. Are you at all concerned about rare drafting 4 or 5 cards and ending up having to play your 28th best card and really hurting your deck? It's probably true that it's not as simple as adding up the percentages, that if you, as you rare draft more and more during a draft, you are going farther and farther down the list of what your replacement card looks like. So that's totally true. There may be a point at which it starts to be a negative EV relative to the gem side of it. So, you know, keep track of your playables and stuff. You don't want to go, you don't want to be, you know, truly playing blanks because you have no playables. But if you think you can get there, it's going to be hard to come up with a value impact that's going to be higher than just simply taking 20 gems. And so I'm going to go back in here. We'll take a look at this deck, and I'm going to go take a quick bio break while you guys refresh yourselves on what we're playing here. Tried to hit the unmute button. Something occurred to me as I was walking around the house. Something I left off of the things that make a great limited format that I think is important, actually, is power level. I think if you look historically at the sets that people love the most, it's the stuff where there's a high power level. As much as I don't like the Colossus at Uncommon, I think the experiment of Dominaria, where they moved a bunch of rare feeling power level cards into Uncommon, really helped sell the format as fun because people left every draft feeling like they had rare level power in their decks. And I think that just makes people like formats more. I mean, what do you like more? Oh my god, it's 12th pick and there are 3 cards that I could consider for my deck. Or, oh my god, it's 12th pick, I'm desperate for playables and everything in here is garbage. Like, it's just not not as good. So I wanted to add that to the list. All right. Thanks, Double D's. All right, we are heading back into ranked draft, Guilds of Ravnica, but this is a stipulation draft. We played 2 games of this yesterday and got 2 quick wins with our Blue-White Skies deck in Guilds of Ravnica. And before I head in, though, I wanted to take a moment to shout out to my new sponsor, Card Kingdom. Card Kingdom has everything you could possibly want for your Magic playing needs. One of the things I love about Card Kingdom is that they really focus on doing whatever they can, whatever they have to do to keep 4 of everything in stock. Like, I don't know exactly who's in charge of the Card Kingdom buy list or how they approach acquiring product, but I bet it kills them whenever they don't have 4 of like anything. I bet it kills them that they don't have 4 Alpha Black Lotuses, you know? Because they want you to know that when you show up there, you can get your whole deck there. Everything you need, you're going to find it there, and they really work hard to stay stocked on everything, and that's why it makes it so hard for me to compete with them on buy prices, because they're so willing to do whatever it takes to fill out their stock. So it's one of the many reasons I love Card Kingdom, but I didn't mention that part yesterday, so I just thought I'd mention that. They always have the lowest prices, or the lowest average prices, and they have more stock. I'm surprised when they don't have 4 of something that I need. Right, you got to get your playset of Lotuses, right, K-Cat? Anyway, and it's just awesome to have them as my sponsor. I don't know if you saw my tweet yesterday, but understand that I was playing games at the Berserk Games storefront over 10 years ago, before Card Kingdom was built, you know, before Mox Boarding House was a thing. And so it's really great for me they're supporting content creators all around the world, or at least certainly all around the country. And it's really neat that they're now supporting me, and I'm literally in their backyard. I'm 5 minutes away from my sponsor. They're my local game store, and I love it. Thanks, Card Kingdom. If you do go there, by the way, and make any purchases at Card Kingdom, and you want to thank them for sponsoring me, you can do it as simply as typing Going Optimal in the comments when you check out. And they'll know. Looks fine. And we got some land, too, which is what we really wanted. And a blue one specifically for this agent. So now we get Pass Wall into Instructor, probably. Ooh, Mesmerist is better. Mesmerist is still instructable. And it helps the Instructor attack. Locket is a great play for us to see. Ooh, well, that probably means they're going to sit back and at least trade with the Instructor, but we can make them trade the Beam Splitter. Basically, I'm looking ahead to attacking with these two, with Oppo showing this on defense. Well, they want to race. I'm willing to start the race anyway. Start racing. We could Whisper Agent too, and potentially just eat that Torch Courier. So that's something to think about, just doing that. Eventually we can get Pass Wall plus Blade Instructor going to really make sure the Instructor does its mentoring without dying. Yeah, I think I've talked myself into that now. We're going to try and eat ourselves a Torch Courier. Have my thumb on the spacebar. I'm trying to pass priority quickly so they don't blatantly see that we have something at instant speed available. Don't need more land right now. I guess with Equinox it wouldn't have been the worst to get more land, but I still like that call. I might go Shieldmate Stroke, though, or Shieldmate Pass Wall, even. Maybe Shieldmate Stroke. Keeping that stroke up makes me feel good about our chances in this race. And it'd be cool to mentor with a Blade Instructor, but it's not, like, vital that we do that right now. If they do attack with everything, we'll throw the shield mate in front of the beam splitter, probably, being happy to trade with whatever they've got going on. It may be, yeah, if it's the +3, +0, it means that this will hit us really hard, but if we don't do it, then let's see, we get, we take 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. We take 10. Yeah, maybe we don't even care if they do that. I'll do it. Let's make him have it. Let's make him use something here. Dazzling is better than Sure Strike. We knew we were trading for a trick. The question was which one. Although the Surveil 2 may be even better for them than the damage that they would have gotten from a +3, +1. Well, we could do Pass Wall and Stroke again. Yeah, I'm going to do that. They're down to 1 card. We have a lot of cards. And if we can pick off kind of anything from them with this Stroke, it puts us in great shape. The Adept blocks the Mage okay. They have a free attack here, though. Alright, some land. We passed on land before, so it's my own fault that we're not at 5, but it felt the correct time. And also just 5, 6, 7, 8. We could just cast the big flyer now, but I don't see the need when we can do Instructor. Yeah, I'm going to start with an attack because we can shrink the Mage, and the Urchin then isn't capable of... I guess it is. I guess we shrink the Urchin, and then if they want to trade off the Beam Splitter with the... how do we want to do this? We're in a very good spot here, and I'm just trying to make sure we don't lose because I do something super suboptimal here. You just want to play the flyer. I'm going to let this go to time here and tank on this one. We do the flyer. We have a 4, 5. And then if we draw a land, we can pass wall twice, and we get almost lethal. Not sure about playing the flyer. I kind of want the Stroke up. But, alright, we gotta do it. I'll go with Stratic's suggestion here and try and drop the flyer. It looks like they may have a Stroke themselves. Alright. They can't lock it now, so that's not the worst. Yeah, I didn't mind that. Like, we're happy to trade 1 for 1. I mean, look at what we've got going on here. If they wanted 1 for 1 us, that's great for us. And here, just attack with everything and shrink the Urchin. I'm expecting a Locket crack here. It looks like they're hovering over exactly that. And how about Instructor Stroke? I think I like that. Informant's a better blocker, but Instructor can do either one. We can decide to block if we feel it's necessary, or we can save it for the big backswing. Or we can see it countered and laugh that Oppo is just ripping counter magic. Still good for us, though. This is fine. And they kept on top. That's interesting. So, You're up against it, and you kept that. Well, something for us to stroke. That might be exploding Planeswalker territory. I mean, it is just GG if we draw a land. Because we double Adept, and... no, it isn't just GG. Because we can't get them all through. Never mind. Magic Gods are like, oh yeah? Prove it, Ryan. Here's your land. Win the game. I do want... Yeah, I'm just gonna attack. Same attack. And then we'll insight from here. I forgot about that. Still should be okay. Just sets us up to win with the unblockable next turn. And do we want... Yeah, I'll leave Insight up instead of playing the Informant. That's great. I don't... It's going to be hard. They have to get very specific here to survive this. It's not impossible, but... Yeah, that's not going to do it. Alright. Easy game. At least maybe here in the bronze queues or whatever. But that's a fair place to do your stipulations, right? Oh, I don't have my info updated on screen. Sorry about that, gang. Let's change this. We are at 3-0 on the stip. Because why not? How am I supposed to drain this account of its resources if we keep making gems? Short West, the stipulation here was make an off-guild deck. Which basically translates to no non-hybrid gold cards is effectively the stipulation here. Yeah, we'll keep this. Funky looking group of dudes here in terms of this weird stipulation, but Double Mesmerist is awfully oppressive to try and block. Oh yeah, you can go back and watch the draft of this one yesterday, and it's pretty brutal. The amazing deck we passed. I'm going to do Double Mesmerist, and that should help. Yeah, a lot of good attacks open up when you have two Mesmerists. Unfortunately, not one right here. Gross. So we could double negative the bodyguard, but then we just lose something to an adept. So I'm just going to do this and have to pass, I guess. 3 toughness is kryptonite here. Yeah, not great. This is why it was such a bad spot. Not only that, they have 5 cards and 4 mana up, so if we do any blocking here, we are potentially facing a blowout. That being said, I don't know how we win this game. I mean, we could race. I guess we could race, but they're going to play something, and it's going to be hard for us to attack through. I'm going to give it one more, but then they can do another one, and then this gets out of even the ability to 2-for-1 to double block it. I feel like we're going to get blown out, but I feel like this game is almost already over. I'm going to do this double block because we need to kill something. Maybe it should be the... No, I'm going to go ahead and kill the pass wall. Like, maybe one way we win here is that they just don't have any more creatures, and this works. And we rebuild while they are failing to apply any pressure. It's a long shot, but play to your outs. Whisper Agent is actually not bad. I'm liking it for trading off the Bodyguard, and we can put Mesmerist in front of the Banneret, probably successfully. I guess the problem is if they go for the double pump the Banneret play, then the Bodyguard becomes a 4/4, and we don't really have a great block for that. But first things first, let's see what Oppo does, and we're going to have to find a way to trade for that Banneret. That resolves. Then we try this. Capture Sphere. Yeah, we'll keep that. Removal seems fine here. And we hope this is gonna do it. I want the Capture Sphere, but not necessarily for the Urchin. We'll see. I expect we'll get better targets coming up. More land. Well, Oppo's missed land drops and has 6 cards in hand, so that doesn't bode well for us in terms of once their floodgates open up. It's also why I really don't want to use the Urchin here. It's almost certainly a 5+ mana card in that hand that... Hey, Oppo! I'll let you have some land if you let me have some spells, because once I start to draw spells and Oppo starts to draw land, we're going to lose. There you go. It's one of the 5s I was fearing, and we'll snap a aura on that dude. Alright, Informant should help us dig. Woo! Get the flood off the top. Wow, that's a lot of land. And how many do we have left? 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 6 and 23. So we should be pretty likely to draw gasoline from here. There's some. Main phase the Insight. And drop a crab. We can play another land. We have this plains to ditch the Insight, so might as well. It's not a great sign for us that Oppo is punching. It probably means... Oh, that was the second punch? Yeah. Okay, then. Okay, then. They can't do 2 of these next turn, but they're looking to close us out on this, so we need to find counter magic for that. So let's start with an Insight. Kinda, but not completely. If we counter the punches. Oh, do you have counter? I have Sinister I just remembered I'm not playing the same deck. We have Disdainful Stroke and Sinister Sabotage that we could draw. Looking for life gain too. Don't see any life gain, so that's it. We have one more turn to draw something. This doesn't matter. I think we're pretty darn dead. Because now, even if we draw... Yeah, no, if we draw the counter magic, we're not dead. We just need counter magic off the top. And Oppo to be committing to a Gravitic Punch and a Gravitic Punch only strategy. What does that tell you? That they're like pitching Command the Storms to their jumpstart. All right. Yeah, I'm not even going to make him do it. They've committed to that plan, and we do not have the tools to get around it. That's frustrating. To basically lose to 4 lava axes thrown at your face. Not the best strategy. But it worked there. Keep. Got Sabotage, we got Stroke. We'll find, Stroke isn't good yet, but we'll, the Sabotage maybe we want to keep. I was actually reading an email. I don't think I should have kept that. That was a bad keep. Now I wish I could have thrown that back. I kind of quickly saw something I liked and did the multitasking fail. But now we can Sabotage, find some white. Or, sure, we'll go with this. Could have dazzled, you know, to try and surveil, but looks like Oppo's having a similar issue. I'll just sit tight. Make them do something. But I'm going to counter anything here. Oh, Stroke even better. I could do the Sabotage to get the surveil, but you got to use the Stroke while you have it. That's funny. Alright. I guess it'll be my turn next to draw planes. Crab or Sab? I'm gonna go with the Crab. Go shields down here, and if they play something creature-y, we can capture it. Just so. It does leave shields down for another turn, but we're not letting that giant attack, so... I think I left my RoboVac on and it's upstairs vacuuming, but I think the house is actually in good enough shape that that's fine. It can actually... I don't think there's anything for it to get caught in its spokes right now. Whisper Agent plus Dazzling isn't terrible. Dazzling is going to really mess them up next turn. I'm going to leave everything back and we'll see if they try to instruct. Dazzling against... mentor stuff is really quite good. Rocket was unsure of the whole RoboVac thing at first. I'm going to go ahead and counter this. Still allows us to keep dazzling up. And I really do want to... Well, maybe we keep another capture sphere. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I'm going to keep it. We can cast it, and it does really good work against Boros, so... Yeah, the thing is, I was keeping up the Dazzle, but they really don't have an attack, so... Which is even better. There's the Capture Sphere we can keep up, and the we just keep everything up here. And stay back. Can't block is pretty good, but hopefully that just leads them into our trap. Oh, yeah. We're going to lead them into the trap. They're going to get some value out of it, though. No, actually, yeah, this is all very good for us. I mean, they get... Yeah, and they can't even do the first strike. Did auto tap screw Oppo? I guess so. Well, we're gonna jump in with the Whisper Agent. But we don't have to show him the Dazzling yet, so that's fine. Ooh, there's our planes. Oh, right, played Demotion, not an auto tap. I was looking on their side of the board and didn't see anything. And I'm in my mid-40s, so I don't remember anything that happened beyond 10 or 15 seconds ago. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Kind of like Parhelion Patrol Dazzling. You like that? Dazzling is... They're just waiting on Tajek until they can get that first strike. But we get to reduce Tajek's power to 0, so it doesn't matter that he gets first strike. We have to do it before the Mentor resolves, but at that point it's too late. He's already attacking. And do we have anything else? We have Capture Sphere, so we could well, we can still... Question is, do we want to Capture and Dazzle or Patrol and Dazzle? And I think Patrol... Why don't I just attack with Agent too? Yeah, let's attack with the Agent to encourage the attack back at us. Oh yeah, I should have gotten in with the Crab. Dummy. I was thinking of that as a pacifism. I haven't seen Demotion played in a while, so I was thinking of it as a pacifism effect. That was a dumb mistake. They should definitely be eating a couple more damage here. But I still think we get to do what we want to do for this for their turn. Oh, we are just telegraphing it now. Any Oppo paying close attention knows for sure that we have Dazzling Lights, because there's nothing, like, there's just nothing else. All right, here's where Dazzling gets a bit nutty, because we get to shrink down Tajik, nullifying that instance of Mentor. Don't need any islands, so an amazing surveil to boot. And then Mesmerist gets to eat Tajik, and Patrol gets to eat that, and Instructor gets to live for one more turn. If they've got a trick now, okay. I mean, they didn't have one before, so I wasn't going to play around it. Yeah, they didn't really show that before, so... And Tajik is still dead, so I consider that all pretty winny. Speaking of winny. 6 mana. We can Fresh Faced and Capture, which I kind of like here. We can Instructor Fresh Face, but then this gets to attack. Yeah, I'm going to Fresh Face and Capture. Capture the unicorn, and then we can trade with the other stuff. I'm going to remember to attack with our friend the crab this time, though. And what else do we want to attack with? I guess if we're sphering... Yeah, I'm going to attack with just the crab. 0-point first strike tech. Hey, Fanatic Guru. Yep. I am now sponsored by my friends at Card Kingdom. Alright. Really, this hurts the most because it kills our creatures, but the Capture Sphere is going to do some decent work and hold down the unicorn here. And if they're out of gas from here, hopefully they're top decking from here. Don't know what they have up top, but despite that 2-for-1, I still feel okay about where we're at. I don't need to see more land. They can't mentor this lifelinker anymore. I think I'll send the crab. I'm thinking of keeping the Blade Instructor to pump the crab rather than attack with the agent. Well, maybe we can attack with both. We just can't sit here taking 3 lifelink or we're going to lose this race. And I'm trying to decide if we're putting the agent or the instructor in front of that lifelinker. I think it's worth more damage to just attack with both here. And offer up the instructor. Sandbag 1 land. Bargent. That's rough. Now we got to trade for the Bargent. That's super bad. They rip that? Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter if they ripped it or had it. They put it in their deck, that's for sure. Well, they ripped something. Come on. Alright, that's how it goes for our team. Well, I'm assuming we're dead, but I shouldn't do that. Maybe we're not dead. Let me look closely. No, we are dead, okay. I think we needed to trade with that, but it didn't really matter. We were very, very dead. All right, 2 and 2. This is a stip though. I'm 3 and 2. Or sorry, 3 and 2 ain't bad for a stipulation draft. Let's see if we can come to even with this. Be nice if we get a few more games out of this and bring it into the close today with this. I may come back on later. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, I was talking about the fact that I'm into collection buying right now. In fact, if you have a collection or cards you want to sell, you can reach out to me at goingoptimal@gmail.com, and I can talk to you about my buying process, but I'm happy to buy cards. And one of the people I'm potentially buying cards from right now is famous deck designer Jay Schneider, who worked in R&D for a while at one point. We'll keep this. And he is the designer of the famous Sly deck. He was one of the first people to recognize the importance of mana curve in deck building. And I have his collection, and it's in the form of his deck building binders. So it's not like boxes of sorted cards. It's the binders he used to craft his decks back in the day. And I should be getting an arm that will allow me to do a top-down view with my webcam. And I was thinking of streaming later and just kind of going through the old collection of a master deck builder, and I thought that would be really neat. We may even be able to reconstruct the original Sly deck from the collection of its creator. So if I get the arm in time and get that set up, figure I'll do that in the afternoon sometime this week. It may not be today, maybe tomorrow. And I do want to get Jay's permission to do it first. I think he's going to be cool with it, but I want to check with him. So I can't promise it until I've spoken to Jay. We'll stay back here, keep up sabotage. We're going to counter anything and just get that surveil and try to find some more land, particularly some white. Well, we're not countering that. Probably means they're not attacking, though. Love a natural planes off the top. Then we can cast Shield Mate and have Stroke up for their 4th turn. And there it is. We will follow that plan. I mean, you have to actually think about what you want to draw and then name it. I sure do love memes. That's the tricky part of Magic. Did not get a 4-drop to counter, but we did get now Dazzling to set up potential Instructor blowouts. It's kind of like Inspector Gadget's buddy Instructor blowouts. And we're going to go for that, because we also have... I don't want to play the Instructor of our own and encourage Oppo to not attack. We'll send in this. They're not going to block it. They'll just take 2. I mean, heck, if they block, great. And with 4 mana up, the pass wall becomes a disguise for the pauses in auto passing. Come on, Oppo. We don't have Dazzling Lights that's going to wreck you. Just do it. They could have a response of their own, but we have a sabotage for the response, so this is just like guaranteed blowout. I don't think we can lose after this. And we just draw those cards on top of it. Yeah, we'll keep both of those, although we'll put them in this order. Sorry, Oppo, this is going to hurt you more than it hurts me. Oh, and you had it too. Like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we knew that was coming. Yeah, no surveil value. I should just scoop. Fearless Halberdier describes my feelings about it pretty well. I'm pretty fearless about that Halberdier. Let's go ahead and patrol up the pass wall and then offer the shield mate. With our huge advantage here, I'm going to keep up Stroke, Capture Sphere, and Insight over playing out the Instructor. We got a dominating board position. Let's try to protect it. If they cast, try to recover with one big 4+ spell, this is going to be way over. If they manage to pull something off that we can't stop, well, we can probably Capture Sphere something, or at least Insight at the end of turn. So we'll let that happen, and then we're just gonna... Even though I usually stroke anything that I can, it's too delicious to just punish the aura user. Oh man. Sometimes I lose to that card and it hurts, but I just want to take one moment to bask in the glow of punishing the aura users. Thank you. Same thing, no need to instruct when 3 of our spells are instant speed here. Teach the aura users so they know what they do. I know some of my worst salt is when I lose to strategies I think are inefficiently unreliable. Yep, can't counter it, so it comes down. Boom. All right. Notched one more before letting this one go. I like that. Uh-oh, silver. Thank you, Hathor. Looks great. Can't cast this yet, but we got a nice 2 and a nice 4. Say a 2 and 4. I don't know how nice they are, but I like casting spells on turn 2 in Magic the Gathering. Island gets us our turn 3 Whisper Agent too, and now we're really curving out. That is a tough cookie there, but we do get to attack into it at least. Certainly not blocking it. Hopefully we don't see anything hasty that they can mentor, that stupid 1/1. Actually, if they do that, we could... Well, we could trade. Smelt Ward, you say... Stroke. Given that it's Boros, I'm going to pass on the Stroke. They often have cards you really want to counter, but too often the play for Boros on turn 4 is 2/2-drops, and I would rather find other stuff. In this case, can't send in the Mesmerist, but we can offer the trade of the Agent. And since part of their ability is ability to make no blocks anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Offer that trade. Unaccepted, as expected. I'm going to send this patrol, and I'm going to be right back. I need another bio break. Came back to an exciting board, but we can capture sphere that Tajik and stabilize on that front at least. And we get a good attack in here because we can shrink the Stalwart. And I think we can afford to. Although, let's see, with the maximized velocity, they have 3, 4, 5, call it like 6, 7, 8, maybe that they could haste at us. But then we have a lot coming back the other direction. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to be aggressive here. We also have the patrol with vigilance. Yeah, so we're not really blocking anyway, right? So that's what I was trying to calculate what their kind of max damage is. Maybe they'll put the +1, like... Oh, interesting. Well, there you go. That's what we're saying. Could be worth a couple more points of damage. Depending on what they do with this velocity, we could even tap down the patrol so that our patrol... Well, no, the velocity is going to make the patrol not be able to block, so I guess it doesn't matter. Let's see what they do with it. Dead on board? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why are we dead on board? Is there too much mentor for me? Well... Dead on board is a lot different than not quite dead on board. Okay, so... Capture sphering... almost doesn't matter. This or, like... Well, first let's let this resolve. Can't block. If we do that, no matter what, it's getting mentored. I'm not sure if... I'm just trying to figure out if there's a difference between Tajik and the patrol here in terms of which is more important to deal with. Probably actually the patrol at this point, I think. It's a tough one. Yeah, the vigilance just kind of put it over the top for me is like the thing that Because we at least need to clear the way for our counterattack. Yeah, actual good Boros cards is tough. Do we have anything? That stays tapped. We get the free patrol attack. And then do we have attacks with anything else? We do not have agent attack. We do not have mesmerist attack. So nope, we just have free patrol. And dump hand. And if we can somehow survive, maybe we can unblock ourselves into a win. Like... Boy, that is not nice, but let's see here. All we have to do is survive with pass wall and 6 power. Can it be done? I'm not sure it can, actually. No. Darn it. If they just didn't have something of this power, we would have been okay. Almost got it. Almost stabilized here. And I don't think we're dead. We're just mostly dead. Make him do a first strike. Still have to even block one of these. So I guess we do this. We have wins from here. Let's see what we draw, but I think that was SOL. Yeah. Well, not bad for a stipulation draft, and Oppo's deck was pretty on the crazy side of Boros with Tajik, Rock Charger, Legion Warboss. Yeah, GG, Oppo, nice deck. We're not going to beat that one. We're going to concede out of here. Nox, how you doing? Is Nox here? I didn't see Nox. Maybe I missed something. Maybe that was Nox. Anyway... Here we are, closing in on noon. Like I said, I think I'm going to try and come back on, either today or tomorrow and do a unique little look. Oh, he raided. I got my audio cues are not set up to alert me. Like a raid and a follow make the same noise for me right now. So thank you, Nox, for the raid. And actually, I cannot turn down a raid. So with 457 viewers, we're going to keep playing. That's all we can do. What are we going to do?